views and opinions expressed in this program are those of the participants and do not necessarily reflect the views of BronxNet or the program underwriters.
Hello, my friends, and welcome to another episode of Meetings of the Minds in partnership with BronxNet Television. We are excited to continue our series to highlight our members, our affiliates, and partners that advocate for the Latino community and beyond. If you're not yet a member of the New York City Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, as you know, it's super easy. Visit www.hispanicchamber.nyc, www.hispanicchamber.nyc. The New York City Hispanic Chamber of Commerce has always proudly supported the next generation of leaders by providing educational resources. You see, we believe that finance should not keep anyone from education. We have been able to issue scholarship awards with the help of our members to DACA students, as well as master's degrees level scholarship with Fordham University. Today, I have the pleasure of introducing Dr. Junius Gonzalez from the New York Institute of Technology. Dr. Gonzalez is a Provost NVP for Academic Affairs for, of course, NYIT. Dr. Gonzalez, how are you and how is the family?
Thank you so much for the opportunity. I'm doing very well now that the sun is out and it's getting a little bit warmer, and everyone is well. Thank you so much for asking.
Of course, and I also want to say thank you so much for all the work that you have been doing in the realm of education. We know that there has been it's been a bumpy road for a lot of students, especially during the COVID time. I've read your bio, of course, is extremely impressive, but what I ultimately extracted from it was your love and dedication and support to future leaders through education. If you don't mind telling us why this commitment through your story?
Sure, absolutely. It starts with, personal lived experiences, and my parents were both immigrants who came to this country in the early 50s without education. And so the goal really was to only get a college degree. But through lots of twists and turns, et cetera, and so many people who were generous, because I grew up very poor in tenements, et cetera, I was able to get a college degree. All of that really solidified for me internally a core value of equality of opportunity and equality of outcomes. And so that started me along the road. And as you know, I've had different careers, particularly after medical school, but really loved higher education when I went to Florida. You see so much dramatic, transformative change in students as well as in their families, and particularly in communities, which I saw when I went to El Paso, Texas. So it's a real commitment. It's passion with purpose and purpose with passion. And every day I'm just delighted to work with people, staff and faculty and community members.
Dr. Gonzalez, it's obvious that you have been deliberate about making sure that our students have access to higher education and that money is not going to be a factor. You were the principal investigator for the U.S. Department of Education and helped raise over $2 million in grants for student retention while significantly expanding online education. What are your aspirations for NYIT?
So you're absolutely right about money, and in using particular frameworks and research data. Money matters, sure, it's important, right? But it's not the only factor. And so for New York Tech students, I want them to have an opportunity in a chosen field. We have strong programs across the board in engineering and health and architecture. And to make sure that they understand that they can get through, that they can grow in more ways than they ever thought, that we give them a real sense of belonging because we have so many commuter students, also so many students who are first generation as I was, and let them see in interacting with faculty, staff, recent alumni, and other students that they can succeed. So I'm really happy about the grant in the past and also seeking funding for students at NYIT in similar ways. And it takes a team. One of the crux factors in that grant was a new model for team advising, right from when freshmen walk in the door.
Mhm. Now, speaking of team advising, can you also speak to us a little bit about the ACE program, which is Achieving Collegiate Excellence, right? And how you're able to get these young people into programs that will continue to help them excel.
So what we uncovered early in my time was that someone's scholarship could be reduced based on them not meeting the required grade point average, okay? And so the initial granting of the scholarship was on their high school grade, right? So college is different. So a team put together an innovative program that had them not only keep their scholarship, but have an academic coach or mentor. And we had volunteer faculty and staff who would meet with the students in the ACE program. We had 119 complete the program in the first year we offered it. And the success rates were tremendous, and I'll get to that. We also developed meetings with advisors and online, what we call student success modules that they had to complete. And at 3 semesters after entering the program, the retention overall is 85.6%, which is huge for those students. And in fact, we have eliminated the equity gap for Latinos, where their 3-semester completion is 91% after the program. So I think the combination of money and attending to that, because if students have some of their monies cut, they're either going to take loans or they're going to take more jobs.
Absolutely. And it seems like, well, you're definitely making sure that you're, taking preventative measures in what their financial future would look like. They put in so much work to get this education and get these careers, and you're putting them in a position that they're not, tied to student loans, which is fantastic.
Right.
I also wanted to ask you, do you find that there is a need to recruit more Latinos and students of colors? If so, what are the outreach plans?
So absolutely, for a number of reasons. I learned something very critical when I went to El Paso. Part of the drive of the former president, who was there 30 years, is she felt that at a commuter public university, the demographics of the students should reflect the demographics of the region, right? Believe it or not, it used to be a party school for white males in the 50s, which I was surprised to learn. So in a similar way, even though we have local African-American and Latino students, we're not where I would want us to be. We need to be much closer to what the demographic percentages are in Long Island, for example, and get to that point. There are a number of outreach programs, particularly with high schools and other ways, case competitions that the business school is offering at Farmingdale. And another factor is being able to offer some of our courses in the high schools. They can be taught by the high school teachers at a very low cost for the students, so they would have college credits coming in. And lastly, all of our current student organizations do a number of things to interface with communities, nonprofits, et cetera.
This is definitely, a team effort to make sure we spread the word about the resources that NYIT has and the preparations that they are, that they have for our community. So we appreciate all the work that you're doing. NYIT, the New York Institute of Technology, has now become a member of the New York City Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. Dr. Gonzalez, how can we help you? How can our members make sure they support you in achieving the goals for the students?
I think spreading the word first about how valuable a college degree is critical. We know that it has multi-generational effects, and it can help neighborhoods and communities and all of that. So that's one way at the very general level. And certainly connecting students to NYIT, we can connect them to current students or others that they may want to talk to. I found that often, and certainly I was this way as a first generation college student, was very shy to reach out to get information or to say, hey, because we are back in person for many classes, I'd like to come and visit, right? And the most important thing I learned, particularly for Latino families when I was in Texas, is the very direct outreach and developing relationships with parents and the families. And so what I told people, and I tell people here, I go to where the people are. I don't expect them, during a workday to come to campus. That's very hard for many families. So we do have lots of things virtually and on weekends. But if someone says, or the chamber set up an event, right, about college, we would go there. Or in the past, I've gone to churches or to community centers or community libraries at night. So that kind of engagement, I think, is critical and really meaningful and deep for me.
Yeah. No, we appreciate that, and that's literally like our values, los valores de los latinos, estar ahí con la gente, con la familia, right? And just really honoring what we honor, and seeing us. And I'm so glad that you're taking those lenses and our experiences to these institutions where we can continue to be seen and get opportunities that will change our life and the legacies for all of our family. We appreciate all that you have done. This is not the last. We're going to continue to work with you to make sure that our members understand the wonderful job that you're doing, the wonderful work that you are doing for all of us, and we will definitely be supportive of that. I appreciate you, Dr. Gonzalez, y muchas gracias y bendiciones a la familia.
Sí, muchas gracias a todos, a sus familias y a las comunidades que van a ver este video. And anytime, reach out if you have any questions or need me for anything. I'd be delighted to help, as would all of my team members.
And like I tell everybody, we will take you up on that as well. But thank you so much for joining us for another episode of Meetings of the Minds in partnership with BronxNet. If you are not yet a member of the New York City Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, it's super easy to become one. www.hispanicchamber.nyc. www.hispanicchamber.nyc. You can also follow us and engage with us on LinkedIn at New York City Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. New York City Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. Why do I always say this before asking, where can we go get more information about NYIT, Doctor?
Well, you can certainly go to www.nyit.edu or use that font of knowledge, Google, and type in New York Institute of Technology. And you have to put the institute there because it is a separate type of organization, and that would be terrific. But no one should ever hesitate to reach out.
Thank you once again. Enjoy your day. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.